Good morning. If we were doing this lesson today at school, I would be doing it as a practical because that is the best way to teach it. But we are going to have to do it in a bit of a different way. So this lesson is quite long. It has some questions in you're going to have to answer. And you might also need to go and look up some things yourself if you are wondering what they are. I've put some videos in. You need to use BBC Bitesize. I'll put the link in for that as well. And anything else that you feel can help you. You've got your revision guides. Have a look through those. Now, the concept today is catalysts and reversible reactions. They're not very big topics, it's not a very hard concept, but you do have to be able to interpret what a catalyst is. You also have to be able to know about the rate of reaction, what that means about the formation of product and the breakdown of reactants. So now I'm going to go through what you have to do. If you need any help, please email me or any of your other teachers. I suggest that you do your best on the work today because we are actually having a look through the work and seeing who's been doing it and who's been putting the effort in. Now, here are some jokes for you to have a look at. This is your recall exam style question. So instead of the usual 5 questions or 4 questions, I've given you an exam question. I want you to tick the box or tick 3. Put a tick next to each of the 3 methods that will increase the rate of reaction. So what 3 things increase the rate of reaction? Just a little bit more practice on that. Once you've done that, there's a little bit to read. So you just have to read it, refresh your mind from yesterday. It's the 2 key points that I wanted you to get from yesterday's lesson in one slide. Now, task 1, you have to click on the link. If you click on this link, it takes you to BBC Bitesize. And it is all about catalysts and what they are, what they do, how they're different from the catalysts that you might have learned about before. You've also got reaction profile, which you'll have seen with endothermic and exothermic. And you just have to interpret what adding a catalyst is doing. Because if you're adding a catalyst, you are lowering the activation energy, so the energy needed to start the reaction to get the reactants to form product is lowered with the catalyst, and that will speed up the rate of a reaction. And that is the whole principle of today's lesson. So once you've answered those questions, you need to go on to this little bit. Now all this is positive negatives. It's something you could get asked in an exam. What is the positives of using a catalyst? And it's to do with industry, it's to do with why would people in industry want to use a catalyst? What would benefit them? Now there's the paragraph you have to read. You do have to read through it. You might want to highlight bits that are important. If you pick up any grammatical errors or spelling errors, I'll give you some extra marks for that. And we have Keith, good old Keith there, in case you want to extend your knowledge. Now, part 2 is reversible reactions. There's quite a bit of reading on reversible reactions before you get to the questions. And you're going to have to read through it to answer the questions. Now, the only way you can answer them is if you read through it. So, then that is it for today bar your plenary. However, at the end, I just want you to have a look at these exam style questions. So there are 2 practicals to this module, and when we go back to school, you will be doing those 2 practicals. But at the moment, I just want to show you some exam questions that are based around a practical, but you don't actually need to know anything about the practical. So there are some questions. I've highlighted the keywords. I've put little messages where there needs to be little messages, and I just want you to go through and have a go at answering them. There's 10 marks. The first one is to do with solids, liquids and gases in aqueous solutions. The second one is looking at pieces of equipment you would use. Dependent and independent variables, so you're dependent, the thing you're measuring, the independent, the thing you're changing. And then you have some questions about the mathematics of it and inaccuracies. A graph that you don't have to do anything with the graph. And you need to describe what would happen if somebody else was to do it. And then the last part is, again, reinforcing that kind of concept that how would you speed up the rate of reaction, how would you increase successful collisions, and that is it for today. So do as much of that as you can, work through it, ask me any questions if you need to. Do try and remember that you are being checked, and Miss Larson's already put a message up today, so make sure that you are doing the work if you see it pop up. Thank you.